Can't get an extension, you say? Okay then. When I was in university, one class had a weekly assignment which was a one-page essay which was mandatory to pass but only worth 1% of the final mark per weekly essay. So they made up 10% of the total mark in a 10-week semester. Each week I'd put in a lot of effort, and no matter what would get a mark of 9/10, which equates to 0.9% of the 1% mark. This went on for about 6 weeks. I thought it was a little odd that it was always the same mark and was frustrated I didn't get full marks because they were basic questions and I answered perfectly, but that's beside the point to the story. Anyway, my record thus far was perfect. I was a model student, never late, perfect work, etc. Now, in week 7 I had a family emergency. I could not complete my essay and asked for 1 day's extension. 1 day. Given my record, I didn't envision an issue with this, but surprisingly the teacher denied my request and told me if I didn't submit it I'd fail the course. Alrighty then. So I dealt with said emergency. It was late. I opened my Word document, wrote half a sentence, then typed some gibberish that looked like an error code and copied and pasted it down the page. Then I uploaded the essay online. You said I needed to submit my essay. Here it is. What I fully expected to happen was that the teacher would contact me and say there was an error uploading my document and to please resubmit it. This would have been the next day since it was late at night when I submitted it. And so I would have time to do it properly, which is what would have happened had she granted me the extension in the first place. What happened instead was I heard nothing. Then I got my grade, 9/10. What I figured out is my teacher must not have even been reading our essays. She was probably marking us based on our previous assignment grades and just copying and pasting the grade each week. The worst thing is I couldn't report her because that would have meant confessing to submitting an incomplete essay. Needless to say, for the last 3 weeks I put minimal effort into my essays and lo and behold, continued my streak of 9/10. Nah, should have reported and stuck with the error code story. I wouldn't have thought anything of it until I checked my return paper and saw that there was an error code on the submission. Checked my previous work and had the same grade across the board. I don't believe these are even being reviewed. Audit time. I had a teacher in high school who just gave us the marks he thought we would get without reading stuff. It was in the dot matrix fanfold printing era, and I once accidentally submitted a short assignment. That was a cover page stapled to a 2-page essay, but the essay was stapled wrong and the pages weren't split, so the whole essay was hidden. He wrote a grade on the cover page without splitting the pages. I had a high school English teacher that did the same. I was consistently getting 85% throughout the semester. Final essay gets submitted and a week later, I ask her about my grade. Without looking at anything, she looks me in the eye and says, 85%. Good thing I wasn't putting in maximum effort or I would have been pissed. I had a professor explain that she sorts work based on the impression she gets from glancing at it, then grades it. But the class only heard the first part. OP has discovered not every life hack inspires feel-good moments. I had a similar story. We had to submit our differential algebra assignments, one every 4 weeks or so, which was around 40 questions. With there being sub-questions, assignments came to around 80,100 pages. And many times we were only given a couple days of notice. The worst part being the assignments weren't that challenging, bar a few questions, just tedious. But I completed them entirely and submitted before time, solving all problems on my own. Turns out the assignments were graded out of 5, and highest given marks were 4.5. I was given 4. Turns out the marks were given on when a person submitted, And who submitted? My dates were mismatched, so I got less. 4 assignments per semester. An average of those was added to marksheet. So it would have almost no impact to not do any assignments. And once I submitted stat assignment to maths, there were around 10 assignment submissions that day and I was sleep deprived. Those were only like 4 pages. And yet got 4.5. Needless to say, I didn't take them very seriously from then on. You have learned to manipulate the matrix. Sorry. If you didn't submit this 1% of your total grade paper, they'd just flat out fail you? Why the hell are so many teachers just absolute power tripping maniacs? Man oh man.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.